I'm a 50-year-old man doing what a 50-year-old man should. I'm a 50-year-old man doing what a 50-year-old man should.
Friends, welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. The radio show did not go off today. I cracked the mic and I said, "Hey, let's rock. Here we go. Let's open it. Here's one from the Rolling Stones." And then I went down the steps to go get my coffee. And what I do is I have my phone with me and I'm listening to the app to make sure everything's, you can take it with you. My Q100 app. And all of a sudden the Rolling Stones song stops. And I'm like, what's up? Well, that's it. It just blew up. I don't know we still don't know what's wrong with it. The good folks at Blarney Stone Broadcasting are pulling their hair out. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a bit, but I want to get to this absolute legend right away. The immortal Rick from TC Paintball, who joins us from time to time, typically. Trigger time with Rick from TC. He said he'd be ready. I swear to God, he said he'd be ready.
Good morning, Eric Zane.
Oh, my God. What is up, buddy? It's been too long.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was just on the phone. I was trying to finish it up quick so I could get to you.
What were you doing?
I was taking a reservation.
You were what? Oh. Somebody wanted to play paintball.
Yeah, a lot of somebody's.
Okay. Yeah. How many on that reservation?
12 on that one.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's a good amount of change.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we get that money up front, so we guarantee that they show up.
Have you ever had anybody like locally famous play there, or like a celebrity, or like a rock star? Anybody ever show up at TC Paintball?
Sometimes Eric Zane graces us with his presence.
Come on now, you know what I mean.
Let me think here. We've had like the Griffins play. And I think you were instrumental in one of those. They showed up one time with kind of a hazing acumen for some of the rookies, which was kind of cool. They made them dress some zip up furry costumes.
Oh, that's sweet.
Who else have we had? I can't think of anybody that you would consider a celebrity that has come here to play. Man, that kind of surprises me.
Do you kind of like have the market cornered? Is there like has anybody ever has Big Paintball ever wanted to move in or try to buy you out or anything?
No, we've got the support of Big Paintball. Most quote unquote Big Paintball, the big companies, they don't want to do the boots on the ground customer interaction. So they trust facilities like ours to be able to handle that and kind of keep the industry moving forward. We get a lot of support from them.
Have you ever had anybody move into the West Michigan area trying to squeeze you?
Knock on wood, nobody has done it with kind of the same blueprint that we have. I've got we've been in business for 24 years, and we made a lot of mistakes and whatnot, but we've been able to focus on the newer player, even though I'm more of a diehard enthusiast myself. We've really been able to, kind of shift that focus when it comes to customers. Yeah, we've got special times and sessions for like the existing players, but as you know, when you're playing this sport, the the getting comfortable with playing is kind of an uphill battle. And if you are playing with people that know how to play and understand the speed of the game, the speed of the ball, all the physics involved, if you're playing with people like that and you're a new player, that can be really intimidating and you're not going to have a lot of success. So we've been pretty fortunate to find some success by separating those groups of players. So, the existing players that really know what they're doing, we have special sessions for them. They play against other players that know what they're doing. And the newer players, our goal all the time, and we see anywhere from 100 to 150 players every single Saturday year round, our goal is to have all those new players playing with and against newer players. So then you have a level of a success that you can achieve, and it turns into repeat business for us. They want to play again because they had some success in the field.
Have you ever had a young person play and then the kid gets picked up by mom and starts crying as soon as the kid gets in the car so that mom marches in and is ready to kick your ass?
No, kind of just the opposite. We've had kids that, they got shot, and sometimes it hurts. I mean, there's no lying or sugarcoating that. It does hurt sometimes. But it's not, you've been shot a lot, so it's not like it lasts.
Yeah.
Goes away pretty quick. We have had kids quit games because they're like, oh, that was too much. But nine times out of 10, those kids continue to play ball. Once they get over it, they're like, you know what? That wasn't so bad. It went away pretty. And that adrenaline rush. I mean, once you have the ability to get a little bit of success on the field, the consequence to lose is just a little bit of pain.
Yeah.
But the glory and the dopamine rush that you get in your head from playing and having some success.
Oh my God. Yeah,
it is awesome.
I've that's one of the things I noticed, and you're right, because when people say to me, I just had an audience member, I think it was this guy, it was John. He said, "Hey, can I bring my 12-year-old?" I goes, "Yeah, has a kid ever played before?" He goes, "No." I go, "Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now. It hurts like balls for 10 seconds. If it hits you in the belly, it can hurt, and it's pretty strong pain. I'd give it a 6 or a 7 for about 10 seconds,
but not all the time.
No."
Oh, that was no big deal,
right? And I told him that. He goes, "Oh, I'm glad you told me." I go, "Yeah, but you know what? They have a little league that they do from time to time. Is that still a thing?"
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
everyone do it. Yep.
All right. So what else is on your mind, Rick? What's going on? I haven't talked to you in a couple weeks. What's been cooking that's on the top of your mind right now?
I have a couple things. In fact, I put a note in my phone for when things pop into my head, and I show up to this segment, empty-handed a lot, where I'm like, man, I only got nothing to talk about. And I start thinking about it about 5 seconds before you call me. So I've been trying to keep some notes in my phone of shit that pisses me off or shit that I've noticed. And I have a few things there.
Okay.
Before I get to that, this weekend I had an out-of-town event, so it was a whole bunch of, dragging a trailer across the state, building a 1,200 square foot booth, hanging out in the booth for my customers all weekend with my staff, and then, tearing the booth completely down and coming home and dragging that same trailer a little bit later home, and, and kind of looking back on a good weekend full of memories. So it was a good weekend for us.
Okay, good.
As far as what's burning on my brain, and as a lot of you know, I have an acute case of road rage. It kind of flounders up or flourishes up a little bit, gets inflamed in certain situations when I'm on the road, and that is no different from when I'm going back and forth to work, or if I'm dragging the trailer across the state.
Yeah.
A couple things I noticed and a couple of things that piss me off. One thing that I noticed, and they're kind of tied together, there's a lot of new cars, and I used to be in the body shop industry, so I had used to have my thumb on the heartbeat of what was going on in the auto industry, and I don't really as much anymore. I don't pay as much attention. But there's a lot of cars out there by multiple manufacturers that when they flip their turn signal on, their headlight on that side of the car turns off, and I can't figure out why that's a thing. I've seen it too many times to think that there's something wrong with the car. Maybe there's a bulb out or a flasher unit. But I mean, that's kind of weird, and that kind of pisses me off.
It pisses you off.
It does piss me off because driving. Why do you want? If you're driving at night, why do you want your headlights to turn off when you flip your turn signal on?
So you don't. So when you're driving towards them, that's when you notice it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not a danger or anything, is it?
I think it is.
How?
Well, because you have two headlights for a reason. There's an arc in the front of your car that your headlights are supposed to be able to, show you the way. And when you got your turn signal on, you're getting ready to turn right. You don't want to be able to what is in the direction of where you're turning. You want your vision to be limited there.
Right. Wow, I gotta look this up.
Yeah.
So
I don't drive out at night. I'm pretty much a homebody at night. But I mean, early in the morning, and I see that, I'm scratching my head going, I'm seeing this too often to think that this is something going on with individual cars. It doesn't make sense to me.
Let's see. Why does headlight go out when turn signal is on? Some newer cars have a feature that turns off the headlight on the same side as the turn signal to increase the visibility of the turn signal.
Okay, so people can see you. I mean, and believe me, I'm big. I'm an advocate on using your goddamn turn signal. Yeah. I think it's important.
So I guess when it's off, first of all, that disappearing of the light may catch your eye, and then when the one is blinking, then you'll see that blinking.
Okay.
So I think it's a safety feature. But,
okay, so picture yourself at a busy intersection, turn to the left to cross traffic, and you got your left turn signal on, that headlight's off, you're going to cross traffic. What about people walking in that crosswalk right there? You don't have lights on them to know that you're there?
Well, it's not like it's completely black. There's other lights from other cars and probably street lights, plus the one that's still on the car.
The car doesn't differentiate how much other light there is around.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other here. I think it's. But then again, if you're noticing it, now I'll pay attention.
Yeah.
And now that I'm paying attention, I might be like, yeah, Rick's onto something. But I don't even like admitting that you're onto something.
Yeah, well, that's where you're wrong.
So I wonder. I have to go up to my car and get out, and because I wouldn't know that this even happens on our cars. On my wife's, because my wife has a 22. So I don't know if it would work on that car.
I'm assuming, I mean, it's not the first time I've noticed it. It's just I'm starting to see it more and more. And I just don't understand how that's not causing issues.
Wow, that is that's interesting, man. Let's see.
Interesting, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Here's one more. And this is going to go back to road rage because this pisses me off. You use your general public, not just you, but the general public uses their turn signal to communicate non-verbally with other drivers and cars out there, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
But if you're driving and you want to let other people know what your intentions are of what you're approaching, what down the road, you want to let people know that, hey, I'm going to turn. That means I'm going to slow down. I might impede your way a little bit. What you shouldn't be doing is getting to the point where you want to turn, jam on your brakes, and then flip your turn signal on. The jamming of your brakes before you flip your turn signal on negates any benefit that you would have by flipping your turn signal on.
No. This is so true. This is 100% true. You gotta give yourself some time, and if you start locking up the brakes and then signal, it's a disaster. I couldn't agree more. That's a bad move.
And you know what it stems from?
Not paying attention.
Yeah, but why?
Because they're looking at their phones.
They're looking at their fucking phone, Eric Zane.
Yeah.
Damn it, get off your phone. How many people have to die by people that aren't paying attention for you to put your fucking phone down
right.
and pay attention to where you're going and what you're doing and for the benefit of people around you so they know what you're doing instead of making these stupid decisions last minute so everyone's got to scramble.
You know what's interesting is when you're behind someone who's looking at their phone, you can always tell, in addition to them weaving around in the lane, but their head turns slightly to the right.
100%.
And you can always tell when their eyes are not on the road.
And you feel like you think that they think that they're being sly about it, right? It's like you're not hiding it from anybody, stupid. I pay attention. I drive, quite a bit. But I mean, who are you hiding it from? Just hold your goddamn phone up. Officer, he's looking for that shit now. You're not fooling him. He understands what
I know it.
Of your head is.
Has anybody ever been pulled over yet for that? Because in Michigan, you actually cannot be touching the phone. That is the law. The law is if it's in your hand, you've broken the law. And I don't know if anybody's ever. Well, I'm sure there has been somebody who's gotten busted from it. I don't know anybody who's gotten busted from it, but
I got busted at Sandy Pines at my campground.
Recently?
Yeah, last summer. So I was driving my golf cart around, of all things. I'm driving my golf cart around with my kids and stuff. And they recently passed, an ordinance or whatever they do about, no cell phones while you're driving, which I agree with. And my phone rang. So I pick up my phone off the seat. I look at my phone to see who's calling me, and I, swipe it to answer. And when I'm looking at it to swipe it to answer, one of the, public safety officers or whatever they're called sees me and pulls me over. He's like, you know why I pulled you over? And I'm like, no. He's like, for texting.
Oh.
I'm like, well, I wasn't texting. I was looking at my phone to answer it, but I thanked him. I was like, thank you for pulling me over. Please continue to pull everybody over for that. Please.
It's so bad. It's just so bad. I heard an ad that runs, and it says, remember that feeling you get when you when the airplane lands and you turn your phone on, or you get out of airplane mode when you get caught up with the world. It's almost like a good feeling.
Yep.
And it says you can experience that every time you get in your car. And I thought to myself, that's actually pretty good, because it's kind of like everything on my phone is a dopamine rush. Everything. Okay.
By time.
Yeah, and so I that's what I kind of want to lean into that. Now, I haven't once yet implemented it. I still have a horrible habit, and so yeah, something's got to give without a doubt.
What do you mean? What your goal is, and what you're advocating for, is to put it in airplane mode while you're driving?
No, just don't look at it in any way, shape, or form. Put it next to me and just resist that temptation and start to make that a habit.
Okay, I do that, but I'm guilty of looking at it, because if important shit's going on in my world, I want to know about it. But I don't want to respond to anybody. I want to see, oh, hey, somebody texted me. Okay, no problem. I'll check that out later, right? Or an email or whatever. But you don't have to. I think you can be okay with glancing at it, like, oh shit, is it an emergency? No emergency. Okay, it's just a like on Facebook. No problem. I'll check it out later. You don't have to dive into it right there. But son of a bitch, like, why does it? And I get it. Your cell phone company, you want to sell more apps, you want to sell more phones, all that shit. So that's why every moment of picking your phone up is you get a little bit of that anticipated dopamine rush. I get all that, right?
Yeah.
They're addictive. But son of a bitch, it's hurting our society in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I've talked about this many times. I gotta implement this into my game plan. I have, to me, it's very, very important, because I think I'm eventually gonna end up doing something terrible. And can you just imagine? I mean, seriously, if I were to actually cause a wreck, there's a decent enough chance that I could serve time. And I mean, what the fuck? So let's see. Jeremy writes, Aram says, these are like Hot Wings hot takes. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I think that's an insult if he says this is like Hot Wings hot takes. But I can relate to exactly what you're saying.
That's a cringe moment for me.
No, you just got told that this is a Hot Wings hot take. I don't think so. I think hot wings are much more insipid and nonsense.
I used to like the what Hot Wings thinks. That segment was okay with me. But what was it was impressive, and I'm definitely not a Hot Wings fan. But I mean, what was impressive with how intricate he got with his adjectives and whatnot and those things. He kind of went deep down there, and he had to do it every day for a while. So that was kind of impressive.
The long story of that is, we were in New Jersey, and not the first time this happened. A program director walked up and said, we're thinking about firing Hot Wings. And we're like, okay. And he says, I want to dedicate a feature to him twice a day called What Hot Wings Thinks. We'll come up with the name, and that's what we came up with, where he writes a, kind of like a blowhard opinion. And that way, it will get traction, and then people will look forward to it, and then it's indicative of, hey, he's really a key cog on the show, which, of course, we all agreed with at the time. But he, if you don't actually bring Hot Wings to the river and put his head in the water, he will not drink. So that was how that was created. It was created as a preventative move to add like an importance or a value to what he does, so that he wouldn't get fired. So that was the second of 3 times that I was involved in his potential demotion or job loss.
What was the feature that he had, the daily feature?
That was What Hot Wings Thinks. That's when What Hot Wings Thinks was born.
What was the other? There was 2. They advocated for 2.
Oh no! It was he would do it twice a day. He would do it like in the 6 o'clock hour and the 9 o'clock hour. And it was so that's where that came from. And then over time, and that went on for years. And then one day he's like, I can't do it anymore. It's too much work. We're all right, fine, whatever. You don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. But I mean, at that point, it didn't matter. So, but occasionally we'd have, like Bob writes, but double wrap bread was gold. And whenever he would say something that was just so ridiculous, we'd beat the shit out of him, and that was fun.
I can, right? Because you're judging each other all the time. So
yeah.
I think that.
So Aaron probably wants to call you Hot Wings Light, and I don't know if that's good.
You're making me-
Come on. Yeah. No, I enjoy it when you rant. I appreciate you as always. Hey, did you see the Lions schedule?
I didn't pay that close attention to it. I mean, we had a lot of to-do has been going on with all these schedule drops and stuff. I mean, good for the NFL for being relevant and, making news with this scheduled information. That's pretty good.
Yeah, they do every year is a big thing for them, and then off they go. Oh, thunder's rolling through. It just caught my ear. If you're wondering why I paused, I heard something. I was like, what is that? It's thunder. There's storms moving through. All the attention for the Lions, all the buzz. How about the kicker that said to all the girls who were graduating, congratulations on graduation, now get in the kitchen?
He's an idiot.
Oh, my God.
I mean, did he not think he was going to get a shitstorm for that? What an idiot. Are you kidding?
Yeah, all they're looking for when they have somebody there to speak is, some words of inspiration for the class. Keep it simple. And he drops all this shit on the world like that. My God. And then I also saw, now I don't know if this is true, but I saw that his jersey is like selling out now. Harrison Butker's jersey.
We are so polarized, aren't we? We're either all in or all out as a society.
Yes, it's such a drag. I hope, because that shit pisses me off. All of it, everything he said kind of pissed me off, and I think that's a me problem. I always get so goddamn pissed at people.
Yeah, that's a lack of maturity problem. I have the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be more gauged in my responses to most situations these days, and I think I'm better at it. But man, emotion takes control.
Okay, so you see a guy driving at 55 miles an hour in a 70. That's Eric Zane.
With his flashers on?
Flashers are on.
What was my latest check that I mailed in? Well, how did I title that?
You something about miles per MPG over miles per hour.
Oh no, ETA.
ETA over. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I don't care how much gas it takes to get there. I need to get there. That's where I am.
Oh yeah. Now I was in a rush to get up. I went up north yesterday, and back the same day because I had some work to do, and it was time was not on my side. So at a good stretch of 131 at 75 miles an hour, I was doing 84.
Wow. Flashers on or?
No flashers on because I was just ripping. I won't do 10 over, but I'll do 9 over because I feel like I have a less chance of getting pulled over if I'm doing 9 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah, I believe you do. I think there's a threshold set on those radar guns.
Right. And then, if it's so that saved me a ton of time. But I'll be going up there again this weekend, and I'm in no rush. So I'm thinking 55 all the way there, just enjoying the ride.
I had a fully packed 24-foot trailer that I dragged over to Pinckney, Michigan this weekend. On the way there on Thursday, I got 9.5 miles a gallon. And on the way home, because it's very critical how you pack that trailer so you don't get any sway, how you distribute the weight. So we did a really good job of packing it. I had no sway. The trailer was just obedient as possible right behind me. And coming home, I was so over the weekend and I wanted to get home. I was doing 80 with that 24-foot trailer behind me, getting 7.2 miles per gallon.
7 miles per gallon.
Yes. I needed to get.
Holy fuck. That is so bad. God damn it. Because you know what? The way I picture it is like an actual milk jug. Okay? Like full of gasoline. And to go like from here to the Meijer store where I live, that the vehicle would burn a whole goddamn gallon of gas. That's all getting burned in my short little amount of time that I would get there. That's incredible.
Yeah, and then multiply that by how many cars are on the road. And that's just the show.
Isn't that insane? Holy shit.
It's hard to fathom.
All right, buddy, I appreciate it. It's always good to start the week off with energy with someone who is a high-energy person like yourself. I look forward to scheduling our next Paintball War number 25 very soon.
Yeah, we got a couple of busy months ahead of us, but I'll send you a couple possible dates, and we'll go from there. I got to get back to drinking my coffee.
Enjoy. Thank you.
See you, bye.
There you go, Rick from TC Paintball. He's a bundle of energy. Aram writes, I'm listening to archived shows. I always skip what Hot Wings thinks. It did get to be a bit tedious for a while. Becca says, were you at Beer Bunker? She thought that all this time I've been saying Beer Bunker North. No, ma'am. Fear. It was... that happened. I started referring to things as the fear bunker when COVID hit, which, by the way, feels like that was 30 years ago when that happened. Don't be a flash hole, Zane. Look, if my flat hazards are on when I'm traveling that slow, there should be no problem traveling behind me. I want to get a bumper sticker that I've seen that exists that says the closer you get, the slower I go. Linda says, I'm leaving for a 10:30 meeting. Someone remind Eric about his 11 a.m. meeting. I'm on it. I appreciate you. Chris says that's when EZ goes to break his sobriety streak. Which, by the way, Chris, you won't believe this, man. I got a story about Chris coming up. He's my soccer connection. I had a goddamn drinking dream the other day. That I woke up and I was so upset in like real life. I woke up and I'm still stuck in dream state, but I got up out of bed and I walked around and I had my hand over my forehead and over my eyes and I was like, oh, God damn it. You did it. You screwed it up. And the dream was that I got drunk. And you can look this up. It's a thing. It's called, if you just look up alcoholic drinking dreams, like a lot of times it's just, I permanently damage my brain. It just hardwired it into there, and it's trying to trick me that I've consumed alcohol. And there have been so many times where, I've gotten up out of bed, and then the day begins, and then I'm in a horrible mood, and I'm thinking, wait, why am I upset? I'm upset because I drank. No, you didn't drink. You did not drink. You're fine. I actually have to verbalize that conversation. And then because this has been so many years now, the decades have just ripped by. And it's like, wow, that is so strange to me. Chris says, I have them a lot too. Well, I don't. Do you have the thirst? Are you like me? Are you an alcoholic? I hope not. If you are, I love alkies. Especially the recovering alcoholics. Those are my favorite. I don't like the alkies who can't shake it. I want to grab them, fucking beat their ass. Let's see. Show Bro Michael says, I remember the first time paintball and the adrenaline was just flowing through me. Was such a rush. I used to be pretty big in the paintball when I was in high school here in Syracuse, New York. Well, welcome to you, Michael. I'm glad you're here and enjoying the show in beautiful Syracuse. Aaron writes, it was very funny. He listens to old shows a lot. When Kurt Busch said on the air that he does not listen to What Hot Wings Thinks and that it's his least favorite part of the show. I do not remember that, but fuck. Oh, no. Chris writes, 506 days without, hence the uptick in running. Aha. We are wired similarly. I see that. I wish I could run. God, I miss it so much. I wish I could. God, I got so much to talk about today. let's talk about the radio meltdown that happened today. Okay, now I'm blessed with this so that I can, 20 minutes before the show starts, I roll out of bed and I let the doggies out. I get coffee. I come up here. I sit down. To my left, there's a couple pieces of equipment that indicate that things are the way they're supposed to be. Looks a little bit wonky. And I'm like, something wrong. So I reach out to the gentleman who would help me with that. His name is JJ. There's a JJ at this radio station. There's a JJ, a JC, a J-Bo, and a Joe Mama. Joe Mama, J-Bo, JC, JJ. JJ, I got nothing. Okay, hang on. Tinker, tinker, button. How about now? Looks good. Okay, start. Boom. Start the show. Welcome into the insane. This is how it starts every single time. I don't want to even do it because I'll get a YouTube ticket. Anyway, welcome to the Eric Zane Show, or the Insane Asylum. Okay, here we go. Here's one from the Rolling Stones. I start it, get back up. I got to get another cup of coffee, like I indicated when I started the show. Then it's gone. Come back upstairs, can't get it restarted. Reach out to JJ. Again, all this shit. Nothing. Now it's like time is ticking. It's passing. Dead air. He goes, I'm going to take the control over so that we at least get music on the air. So my setup talks to their setup. It's constantly handing the football off. So if I have the football, I'm broadcasting here and I'm playing the music and then all that stuff. And then I'll hit a button and I'll send it back to them to play the commercials. And then it automatically comes back to me. And then I got the football again and I'm running. Well, I can't get that football from the fucking thing. It's hanging on to it. They own football. I'm like, oh my God. Chris says, yeah, kind of like the start of Who Are These Zanes on Thursday. LOL. Yeah, that was rough. So there's been technical issues that have been, that's the thing. We are blessed with technology. But when it goes wrong, oh my God. And it can just happen where out of the blue, everything just shits the bed. It turns out that the very first problem that I was dealing with today, it was easily fixed because something had gotten unplugged on my end here. The dog walked around down here, something bumps something and something disappears, gets unplugged or whatever. So all of a sudden I plug it back in. All right, it's great. And then we start doing our thing and then, oh no, it's not. Now then you're like, well, is it connected to the first problem? We don't know. Holy shit. All we know is that Easy's not on the air. People are fucking freaking out. And I'm sitting here picking my dick and trying to help these guys troubleshoot. Like, fuck it. I'm going to go clean the kitchen. Went downstairs, cleaned the kitchen. All is good. Got all my fucking chores done. All my boring work. We do have a short week this week. Okay? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are normal. Taking a long weekend. Thursday, Friday. Friday, I'll be on the radio from Q100. I'm actually going to be on the radio from Q100. I'm traveling up there. So this is how it is. Wednesday, I get done radio show, get done with my podcast. And then all you will have for content is not the best of on Thursday and Friday on the free platform and on Monday. And then on the Patreon, you will get something to listen to while I'm away. 3-hour show, something to listen to I'm away on Thursday, Friday, and Monday. Those shows won't be new to Aram, who listens to all the old shows anyway. But that's what I'm going to be doing. But I'm doing radio on Thursday morning from here and then leaving, going. The Queen of the Forest, myself, and puppy dogs are growing up north. We will have a grand total, potentially, of 10 dogs at Fear Bunker North. 10! 4 from EZ and Pooh Bear. 2 from Charity Scam Mike. 1 from Charity Scam Mike's daughter. That's 7. 1 from my stepsister's daughter. That's 8. Dog's name is Rue. And then 9 would be the dog Bowie, and 10 would be the dog Charlie, who's a Yorkshire Terrier, his little fucking thing. Oh, wait a minute. 11. Because I forgot there's one more, too. What's that dog's name? Harley? I don't know. 11 dogs. And then, I mean, people were talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We'll probably have, then my dad and Joanne, 18 to 20 people, Fear Bunker North. Wow. Chris says that's a lot of shit for Darla to eat. Darla doesn't eat shit. It's O'Neill. Come on. Get serious. Fucking that shit up on me. All right. I have lots of stories I have to get to from the weekend. First off, the trip up yesterday to Fear Bunker North. It was literally wake up, get coffee, go up north. The reason why? The grass is knee-high. It needed to be mowed because I've got all these people coming up. I don't want a place to look like shit. I get in there. I'm all set, ready to go. I know what I need to do. There's a riding mower up there. Charge the battery already. Put the battery in. Install. Fresh gas. Boom. Fire it up. Bam. Done. Fire up the little push mower to get in the tight spots. Boom. Done. Fire up the weed eater. I'll clean up all the mess in this really tight spots. Bam. Done. Killing it. Holy shit. Then I wish you're thinking that I wish I had something terrible happen to make this hilarious, but I don't have anything. I crushed it. Then it's time to prime the outhouse. Yeah, look at that. There you go. My OSB outhouse. I put a nice thick coat of oil-based primer on there. Get in all the neat little pores. That is a scrap OSB that I pulled out of my neighbor's dumpster. You all said, easy, you should not, that OSB is not intended to be exposed to the elements. That will fall apart in 2 years. And I'm like, okay. Well, maybe this time it won't. That's all I'm hoping on. If you had not told me that OSB is not to be used, exposed to the elements, I would have probably used that for every project I've ever done. So thank you for telling me that. I feel like a fucking asshole. But you're probably like, where is the door for that? I still have to make the door. I have a piece of OSB painted, and I have to put some 2x4s on one side of it to give it some structure and some rigidity. Throw on the hinges, boom, boom, zip, zip. Then we got the door. Good to go. Now, look, for this place, though, OSB is like, high-end marble when it comes to materials for what we use up there. This is a hideaway. This isn't any place nice. Well, it's nice, but you're kind of roughing it, with the exception of if you have a camper. Pooh Bear will not use the outhouse. She goes, I'm never going in there. I don't give a shit what you do. She goes, I don't care if the floor is made of gold. I'm not going in that outhouse. I go, I get it. No problem. I'll use the outhouse. Other people will use the outhouse. But there is an outhouse. I have a shed full of my equipment and so on and so forth, and the old-ass trailer. It's awesome. I went in there yesterday. Thank you, Stevie. She says it looks nice. Aram says he took the picture from far enough away that it doesn't look bad yet. Okay. Well, I'll zoom in then, I guess. If that's what you want me to do. That's as far as I can zoom in. It's OSB. It's fucked up. It is fucked up. But I'm telling you, this is better than what it was. I didn't take any before pictures, but this is a lot better. There's a brand new roof on there that I put. The decking for the shingles is also OSB. So hopefully the shingles don't leak. Yeah, in the future, I am not going to use OSB when I do a project up there. So thank you for informing me that OSB is not supposed to be used. All right. But yes, it's not supposed to look that great, for God's sakes. It's a piece of shit outhouse. Come on now. Anyway, I got all that shit done and then jumped back in the car and hustled home and still made the tail end of my grandson's birthday. That was awesome. I got out of the car. He gave me a great big hug. Happy birthday to him. My two grandsons were there, Grayson and Rowan. They love me dearly. I love them. It was good to see everybody. The day before was Saturday, and the plan was to go to the racetrack, and it was great at Berlin Raceway. Chris writes, OSB is high end. Chris K. Blue tarp is standard. Thank you. Bob says, don't forget about the duct tape. Yes. So I reached out to Kevin Kuipers. First of all, before I talk about this, Kevin Kuipers is our bowling champion here when it comes to audience members. He's bowled so many 300 games that I'm not kidding you. He's not positive how many he's bowled. He's that good. So I'm sitting next to him at the track, and we're watching the races, like in between races. So I strike up conversation with him. I go, so what does it take to go pro? He goes, I could go pro right now. You just have to apply for a card and pay for it. I go, yeah, but I mean, I couldn't be a pro. He goes, no, you couldn't be a pro. I go, well, yeah, but that's what I'm asking. What does it take? He goes, oh, most pros, he goes, you can get your PBA card with a 200 average. I go, what's yours? He says, 224. I go, your average is 224. He says, yes. I go, fuck me. That's impressive. I go, well, why don't you do it? He goes, it's not worth it. I go, what are you talking about? It's not worth it. Can't you get sponsors? He goes, I have people that offer me sponsorships all the time. I go, well, what type of sponsorships? What is it? He goes, well, regularly, the type of sponsorships that people get are usually in the neighborhood of about $100,000 a year. I go, well, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, but then you're bowling a lot and you're traveling a lot. So it doesn't necessarily add up because especially, and there's a lot of people who bowl as good as I do. They're like a dime a dozen. Unless you're winning all the time, there's only a handful of people who are turning a profit. So he goes, it's just not worth it. I go, oh, okay. So then he kind of buries the lead there because he tells me that this coming weekend, I'm going to get some of this wrong, but he's explaining to me that this weekend, I think he's here. He is here. Is Kite Bro 3? Is that Kevin? No more beer for Kevin. Is that you on Kite Bro 3? He explains to me, and I'm probably going to get some of this wrong. He goes, but this weekend, here in Grand Rapids, there's a tournament. And the winner gets $15,000. I'm bowling in that. And I'm like, fuck yes, this is it. This is it. This is a big one. So, I don't have all the details stuck in my brain. But if Cutie Patootie throws it like Kingpin, he has a chance to win some fat stacks. He says it is one of the hardest tournaments in the Midwest. He described it to me as a lot of these pro bowlers will show up to this. I guess this is an open or something like that, just to try to collect the payday. So Kevin's going up with some of the top bowlers in the Midwest. Dude, fuck that shit. I want you to strut in there like goddamn Walter in The Big Lebowski and just take no fucking prisoners. If you have to, wave your piece around the lane. Oh, my God. Tyler says, Kevin, after winning a tournament, have you ever screamed out, who do you think you are? I am. One of our favorite bowling moments of all time. Who do you think? That's all you got to type. Who do you think? And it pops up. The legendary Pete Weber, who the character in Kingpin played by Bill Murray, was crafted after. Like inspired. Bill Murray's character in Kingpin was inspired by Pete Weber. All I know is that in this clip, fucker had to nail it. And he did. And everybody's going crazy. And it goes like this.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it!
Shit, why is it beeped? I don't want it beeped.
That is right, I did it! That's number 5! Are you kidding me? That's right! Who do you think you are? I am!
Who do you think? I don't get it. Who's he talking to?
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it!
That is right, I did it!
That is why I did it.
That's number 5! Are you
I number 5. Are you kidding me?
kidding me? That's right!
That's right.
Who do you think you are? I am!
Who do you think you are? I am.
Get it right!
Did it right. Very confused on that. I did it right? Like, was there a chance he could have done it wrong? If he did it wrong, would he have thrown 2 balls? Aram says he said in an interview what he meant to say. Yeah, I think we might have played that. I don't want to know, though, what he actually meant. I love the idea that he said, I did it right. Who do you think you are? I am. Did it right. Pete Weber. Kuiper says, anybody ever crushed it in a game or a series and yelled out, who do you think you are? I am. Have you ever heard anybody yell that out? You should try that. By the way, I'm taking suggestions for the new color of the outhouse. I'm thinking about kind of like a powder blue with white. With white like around the trim, because I'm going to put trim on it. I like almost like a pastel. I'll take your suggestions, please. On the Shoreliner striping inbox, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Molly votes hot pink. Bob quotes Walter addressing Smokey in The Big Lebowski. Smokey, this is not Nam, this is bowling. There are rules. Aram says putting trim on the outhouse, but not siding. That makes sense. I don't know that it does make sense. Bob says, Chris says, let me hear your suggestions. I want to see those phone lines light up. Another suggestion, second for hot pink or safety yellow. Kenny says paint the Easy Show logo blue and paint the trim white or yellow. So it's like that blue, like that type of blue. I hear you. Something that doesn't show dirt. How about brown? Ugh. I don't know. I like kind of like, I mean, you got to realize it's a very, very dense forest. It's just beautiful green half the year. And I want it to be a little brighter, like the red that it was. I don't know. That's just too much. Charity Scam Mike says, you're going to paint it red? I go, no, I'm not going to paint it red. Fuck you. He goes, what are you talking about? It's got to be red. I go, I don't want to make it red. It's been red. Okay. Today is weird because it's a Monday, and I have Act 1, Act 2 of the podcast. because the radio station, we have the big staff meeting, and they're probably going to want some answers about what happened with the technical disaster that took place here that kept EZ from being off of the air. The audience is wondering what's up. They're wondering, did he already get fired? Here we are, 2 months and 2 days from the start of the insane asylum. Suggestion for camo color. Yeah, but that would mean I would have to buy numerous colors to do that. And I've never done that before. That is, I don't think I want to go that route. Slap on one color. I don't think I'm going to do the camo thing, but I appreciate your suggestion. Okay, so this first Act 1 has been available for everybody on Facebook and Twitch and I'm sorry, Facebook, X, and YouTube. I'll just keep that going all the way to the end of it. But if you watch the show on Facebook, X, or YouTube, if you could, follow me on Twitch. Head over to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live or download the Twitch app on your mobile device and then search Eric Zane Live. Follow me, subscribe to me, all those fun things. It really does help me, so I appreciate that. And Patreon. Now, I have an update on Patreon. This week, there will be, other than the daily bonus, the Lost Zane recordings, and the something to listen to while I'm away, we're taking a week off from Who Are These Freebeers or Who Are These Zanes, because the week just we don't have the time. But next week, we will be back with Who Are These Freebeers. And we will be merging in Who Are These Steve and Kyles. There is a learning curve to that show. It is so devoid of content that it's actually managed to make it difficult to pull clips from. And I think you have to, what I'm learning is, after I listen to 2 full episodes of the show, that you start to pick up on the things that you can make fun of. But I listened to 1 full episode of that show, and I said, I don't have anything there I can clip. There's actually, it's so devoid of anything interesting. And I know that sounds terribly insulting, but I actually do try to be somewhat fair and critical at the same time when I do listen to these shows. Okay? But I had such a difficult time listening to 1 episode that I went, I'm having a hard time even concentrating. It's so horribly boring. And other than just playing, hey, listen to how boring this is, I was having a hard time figuring something out, like an angle to discuss or to point out. You know how, like, for example, when we do Who Are These Freebeers? And like I park on like laugh talking or Freebeers self-triggering moments or the crispy R's, or relying on the show prep and playing audio that doesn't need to be played, and Freebeer getting fussy, and Steve being boring and just droning on and on. Those are all little elements that stand out that we can actually use to clip. I was getting none of that from the Steve and Kyle show. But then I listened to one full episode and I went, okay, I'm getting somewhere, and I think there will be enough for at least an episode. But it was a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. So that will be a thing in the very near future. Who are these Steve and Kyles? Tyler says, so it's so bad and boring, there isn't even anything to park on. LOL. Yeah, it's a lot of, like, inside conversations from things. Like, they'll develop an inside joke on their show that they will carry over into the next show, and they won't give you the background of it in the next show from what happened in the previous show, and they'll just start talking about it like it's something everyone should know, and it becomes even more silly and disjointed with each passing episode of just mundane, stupid stupid conversations. They don't really talk about anything that's actually going on in the world. And if they do ever tell something that is from their own personal lives, it's so full of hyperbole and pointless anecdotes and attempts at jokes, swings and misses. You're just kind of like left wondering what the fuck is happening after about 2 or 3 minutes of this droning. Now, Steve, as you know, drones badly. Kyle does not. He inflects, but he fucking sucks. So I just want you to know that is coming up on Patreon. So sign up for my Patreon for 7 days free, patreon.com/Eric Zane. The open and live stream of today's show brought to you by Joe Martinez, A&E Heating and Cooling, 616-516-8579. He's the best. Love him. I just heard from Jacob Bennett. Remember Bennett Flooring Installations? He's not advertising right now, but he said I should have had the AC inspected because something blew up on him. Oh, my God. Yeah, you should have. I warned you, buddy. 616-516-8579 for the immortal Joe Martinez. Okay, that is it. It's meeting time. I'll talk to you in a bit. Thank you for the reminder, Chris. And I will talk to you in, not that long. More of the show coming up after my radio meeting. Thank you. And if you're listening to the audio podcast, it'll just connect right